Hello and welcome to another episode of C-Suite, a CEO chat. And yes, I am Shawanna Kennedy, your host. This is a place where we get to have conversations with CEOs all over the globe, and we talk about the good, the bad, and the sometimes ugly of what it looks and feel like to be a CEO. We know that everybody is not called to be a business owner, own their own company, or be in charge of anything. We know that everybody has a position and they have a place. But then there are a few who have decided to not only wear the t-shirt, but they are deemed with the responsibilities that go along with being a chief executive officer. And that means that's coming with a team. And so I'm excited because I have someone who has been in it for a minute. This young lady, she is a speaker. She is an award winning, she's an author. She is known as a webinar queen. That's right. We're talking to someone who has helped people to make thousands of dollars from simply doing webinars, and how you as a CEO can expand and scale your business by doing the same. So I don't want to prolong the time. I want to get my amazing guest in here. Help me welcome Miss Dekesha Williams. Hey, Dekesha.
Hello. Hi,
Yeah.
everyone.
Welcome to the C-suite. I'm excited because I'll start even by saying being able to watch you for a few years now, actually being under some of your tutelage, right? And you helping me along my entrepreneurial journey and the things that I've been able to do and even implement in different facets and phases of my business. It's attributed to the things that I have learned by sitting under some of your tutelage. And so I want to thank you.
Love it.
I want to thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Love.
yeah. Right, right. Look, my daughter always said I get it wrong.
Yes, love. You got to get it right.
I know, right, right, right. So just say hello and let us know if it was something that I didn't say in that intro, because we know you're an award-winning everything. Uh, do the webinars. And one thing I didn't say is that because she is a proud mom, her kids are killing it in several sports. So when you think about even that as a CEO, not only just the business, but then the business of being a mom. So let's get into this CEO conversation. What is it when you think about being a CEO? Why did you decide to do it?
Well, the funny thing about it is I didn't decide to do it.
Mm.
To be quite honest with you, it was not something that I wanted to do. Um, I always share, it's been a while since I shared this story, but I actually left corporate America August 24th, 2011, and I went on leave of absence, and I'm still on leave of absence. So you can type hashtag longest leave ever.
I love
Yes,
it.
I am still on leave of absence. Actually, the company went out of business, and so I didn't have anywhere to go back to. So I didn't have a choice. So it was a decision that I made.
Mm.
Um, and technically, I did apply for a job. So I was a district manager of a children's photography studio over 5 states, and I had 13 locations. I had over 60 something employees with me that work with me. And this is kind of where I left corporate America. So that was the last job that I've ever had. And so I've been out of corporate America for what, 13 years?
Mm. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
So why didn't you? Okay, now they've laid you off. You're still on this. You're on a long sabbatical, right?
mhm.
What made you decide to say, then let me? You didn't just happen into, because you could have tinkered with some stuff with your resume, your experience. You could have decided to go back and work for someone else. What
I
made?
did. And
Yeah.
I kept trying and I was applying for stuff. Um, I was getting denied,
Mm.
and they said, God said it's not a denial,
Mhm.
you know. And so I knew then that I wanted something different. Okay. So on that job, I literally was in Hartsfield International Airport every week, flying to one of these locations or driving somewhere. And so I knew I wanted to do something where I could be present and available to my children. They were 5 and 6. They were 5 and 11 at this time when I left. And so I knew from there, I said, okay, my mom, she worked at DuPont. So I was what we call a shift baby. Some people are like, what? So my mother worked rotating shifts. So I stayed at a babysitter's house overnight sometimes, up until I was 13 years old. Who has a babysitter at 13? Mm-mm. We don't have babysitters at 13. So they actually became my godparents, and they just celebrated their 60th marriage anniversary last month. Yes, so those are my other parents, my godparents. But I didn't want my children to come up, having to spend the night at a babysitter's house or something like that. So I said there has to be something else. And I'm going to be honest with you, Shawanna. I started writing business plans for people back in 2011, 2012. I could not stand it. And I think they were paying me $250, like $300. That was 12 years ago.
Right.
And so that's where I kind of got the entrepreneurial bug from. And I was like, oh, people are going to pay me for what I know? Are you serious?
Yeah.
I can literally just charge people because I know I have a skill, right? And so I started working with a company in Maryland where I started teaching people how to make $100,000 using webinars, but I wasn't even using webinars. And the way that my level of integrity is set up, I'm not going to teach nobody something that I'm not doing for myself. So what did I do? I set out and I did 8 webinars in 30 days. I did 2 a week for 30 days, and I ended up making $15,000 in commission.
Wait, hold up. Okay, so I want to make sure that you all did not miss what she just said. Commission. You said 15K in
30 days.
30 days.
Technically 28, but yes, 30 days.
This was doing what? This wasn't the pandemic.
Oh no, this was like 2014.
I know. I want to make sure, because some people might believe, okay, we're during the pandemic, people were online more. Maybe that's what happened.
Mm-hmm. This was before, like, let me date it real quick. Oh, this is so embarrassing. This is when Google Hangout was a thing.
Okay.
Like YouTube, Google Hangout.
Yeah.
That's what we were using. That's how long ago this was.
Yeah.
So again, twice a week, doing a presentation, inviting people to a sales conversation, selling someone else's product. That's the other piece that you have to pay attention to. I was selling someone else's product and getting a commission check.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I realized, oh, wait, you can make money out here like this? You can print money out here. Got it. Let me tell you something. I'm the type of person, all I need to do is see it one time. You hear me? One time. Got it. Let's go. How do we put this in a system? How do we market it? And how do we monetize it? That's all I need.
How long after that really just set in with you, like, okay, I could really make my own way? How long did it take from that moment before you said, now I'm about to create my own company?
So in 2017 is when I created my first course called the Webinar Success Blueprint. I sold that course for $35 a week for 12 weeks. I don't even know what that equates to. But I was excited to get $35 from from 5 or 7 clients. And I still, some of the clients that were in this original class. So I have receipts. I keep receipts. One of my clients just texted me and said, hey, I want you to build me a funnel. She was one of the original persons that was in the $35 a week class. So that's a couple of messages right there. First and foremost, my clients stayed with me for a while.
Yeah.
First and foremost, right? So second, the process has to work is to keep coming back for more.
I mean, and what helps is not only the process, but it also is the person. Because sometimes when there are different things that do exist, and there's more than one person that may do that thing, I am a believer that we do still have people that are assigned to us. And no matter what the message is, that we are the person that would resonate with them to help them birth whatever that thing is. So you were in alignment and you started doing this, and then it just grew. Because at your highest, because I know you have team, right? I know that you have a team. When you were doing it alone, before you said, I have got to get some help, how many clients were you trying to juggle before you said, I've got to get some help?
At that point, because this was 2013, 14, 15, I only had a VA. Like one of the first, well, actually, I take that back. So now when I tell you this is the way that Keisha did it. Does not mean that it's the right way to do it. So one of the first persons that I hired was a graphics designer. I felt like I needed to show up online a certain way, right? I felt like if I had a graphics designer that helped me show up, then that would position me as the expert. So yes, I went out and hired a graphic designer. Then I hired a VA.
Okay, but hold on. I gotta go in right here because anybody they know that with Kennedy Media, I'm big on be seen, be heard, and increase your video and that visibility. Because if they don't know you, they don't know you. So I love that you leaned in and said, before a VA, you knew that you needed a presence.
I need to be seen. I need an audience. I needed to build an audience because no one knew who Dekesha was. Who's that? So I had to step in and build an online presence before I could even think to sell anything. Now, if you go into Google and type webinar queen, my name will come up.
I love that.
We did it 2 weeks ago, like last week. Yeah,
wow.
We did it. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, look, I need y'all to do it right now too, right? No, let's disrupt Google. Go
absolutely. And I ain't gonna even lie to you. Like, and I have to give you a story because it's a funny story, right? So I was out with my girls, and actually it's my TikTok family is what it is. And we do a meetup every quarter. And so we're sitting at the bar, 2 guys, come and sit down beside us. And they were like, well, what do you do? And what do you do? I said, well, you can Google me. And they were looking at me like, whatever. I said, no, seriously, Google me. Google webinar queen, WEBINAR. And so he did. And he might have scrolled once or twice. Baby, what showed up? That's me right there. It did.
Yeah, I love that. Because
that's from the visibility.
And it's people are looking us up while we're talking. Literally while we're talking, even if you didn't say Google me, somebody would have been like, and their fingers would have been doing the walking, and it happens all the time. So I want to know, because you are the webinar queen. When we talk about good, you talked about how far back it went. You know what it feels like to make thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars for someone else. And then because life showed up and God decided to give you a design detour and you wound up doing it for yourself. We talking about it at its highest when you've had your biggest moment. Now, I don't know if you're part of the 2 comma crew. I don't know. I don't know, but I know
like you have 2 commas.
You know what? See,
sorry.
Why?
It's been a month over here. Don't do that. No.
I know. And that, you know what? And she's always doing something, because not only is she about her business and the business of the company, but she is a mother. So when you think about all of these ways, now you have graphic designers, you have VAs, and of course you bring in special people for bigger events. We understand that. But now let's talk about even the person as being, you're a mother and you have active children. They're Absolutely. Not just chilling at the house on video games. You have active children. So talk to the CEO that actually is a parent and they're doing a doggone thing in their business. How do you create that harmony? I don't want to say balance, that harmony.
So I'm glad that you said that. So I am not in the 7-figure club, the 2 comma club. I'm not. And here's the thing. I'm okay with that. Here is why. I am totally okay with that. And the reason why I say that is because I spent the last 12 years giving everything that I have to my children. Mm-hmm. The business, I was a mom. I'm a mom first. And so the business allowed me to create a lifestyle for myself and for my children. So during this time frame, I had a competitive gymnast, a collegiate competitive gymnast, where I was able to show up every single meet, unless it was like in California, Denver. Well, actually, I went to Denver too, right? But as many as all the home meets, I was there. And so she'll tell you, my mom never missed a meet unless it was something where they flew to like California or something like that, and I wasn't able to make it. My son has played lacrosse track, and football. Okay. So thank God they're in 2 different seasons because I can support them both. So my focus was building a business that could take care of my household. I wasn't running after a dollar. I wanted to serve the clients that were aligned with me and my vision, and I was aligned with their vision. That's what was important for me first and foremost. And so now I have a collegiate football player. Okay. I have a collegiate football player, but watch this. Now I'm in the position where I can give more to the business. So if I do want that 2 comma club or $1 million business, this is the opportunity to get it. And here's what I said to myself. I've never had the opportunity to see my full potential because I was a mom first. So the time is now. And that is one of the beautiful things about entrepreneurship, because you don't have to measure yourself up against anyone. Your journey is for you. I've been in business for 12 years, never hit the 7-figure mark, but I'm cool with it. Why? Because I have a relationship with my children that is unbreakable. There is a bond that some people desire and some people yearn to have with their children, or just having children, period. So that is a true blessing. My children are a blessing from God. Love them to death, but guess what, baby? Guess whose time it is to shine now? It's time for Dekesha to shine now. So yeah, we've had some awesome years. I bought a dream car, during one of my top years in business. We are truly blessed. And Shawanna, you know me, you've been in my space. I don't ever talk about what I have. I'm not that one that talks about what I have and, what I build. Very rarely do I even talk about the money that I make. But I will say we are a multiple 6-figure business. And we even made 6 figures working part-time, taking care of my mom.
That's a blessing. And I love that you shared that part, because somebody needed to hear that. Somebody needs to know too. And it's the importance is, can you go where you want to go? Can you buy what you want to buy and not just have the things, but you have a quality of life? Yes. You have a quality of life. You're there for your children. You're there for your parents, or whoever that loved one is, or even you're there. Hello, you know me. I'm all about making yourself a priority.
Come on.
It's about making yourself the inside of you. And it's creating the lifestyle. That is the one thing that I do appreciate about being a business owner, entrepreneur, is the freedom. The freedom when you have, like you said, the systems in place that you can, if you say, like you said, I'm going over with my son, I'm going over with my daughter, and you can set things up that it won't fall apart and you can still be there, like you said, and the relationship means more. It's priceless. That's priceless.
It is. That's a whole nother episode by itself. Because like I said, there's people that yearn for the relationship and the bond that I have with both my son and my daughter. So I've told people, no, I can't be on your stage because my daughter has a meet. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Like, people are like, are you serious? Absolutely. They're like, are you available on November the 7th? My son has a game. Right. And that's where I'm going to be first and foremost. Like, there will come a time where I can do something in November, but right now my priority is being on that sideline to support my son. And because I know if I'm not, it's a disappointment to him. Yeah. No, ma'am. Not in this book, not on my watch. And the beautiful thing about it is, even my daughter told me this, and this was a couple of months ago. She said, Mom, put your head down and hustle hard for 6 months, because you take off December every single year. I do, don't I? Right. I do. So think about it. I go hard in my business for 6 months to be able to cruise control for 6 months when they're competing. Where they do that at?
That's a lesson for someone. And again, the freedom to know that to structure your company, to structure the plan so that is why you have to give that attention, because so that you can say right up and through here, I don't, my schedule is not as packed because I'm choosing to be somewhere else where I'm needed most. And
Absolutely.
I love that, because it's where we can. If you need to move some stuff around, you can. I'm not waiting for a pen for 20 years. I'm not
Right.
waiting for that. Look, those days are over. And I don't miss it. You get what you work 20 years and they give you a watch or they give you a catalog, right? And
I
it's
got
still,
a TV.
you got
15 years. 15 years with the company I started with when I was 23.
wow. And
15. It's still got the 15-year plaque somewhere around here. I got a 40-inch TV.
my, look at you.
They cost what, $200 now? $150?
Exactly.
Really?
And
15 years? Yeah,
and
no.
this walk is not for everybody. So even with that, we say the good, the bad. We know the good is being able to be there for those priceless times, right? Those moments with the children, with the family. But it's the good, the bad, and sometimes ugly. Talk to us for a second about how ugly it could be, though. We got to help people
I
to.
was gonna say,
Yeah.
listen, so even the ugly times is dealing with the revenue roller coasters. The ugly time are dealing with the clients that decide that they don't want to pay anymore. The ugly is going to Stripe. I don't even use PayPal anymore, but a payment doesn't go through. Okay. But your bills need to be paid. Like, you already paid these bills, but you got this money that you're waiting on.
Yeah.
So, again, you have to prepare for things like that that's going to happen. You have to set yourself up and have processes in place for when things like that happen. My daughter, actually, they can give some of my presentations because their room has been across the hall from my office for years. Okay. So they know some of my presentations.
Yeah, I have a witness. Yeah.
But that's the one thing that turned off the entrepreneur desire for my daughter, is the up and down in the revenue. She's seen it for 12 years. So there's good years, and then there's years where, you got clients that you might lose 2 clients at one time. And these are clients that are paying four figures, like multiple. So these are, this not no $997 a month client. Okay. So this is one that could pay your mortgage 2 times. Okay. And you lose 2 of them. That can hurt. Like, that can hit you in the pockets if you don't set yourself up where you are not putting all your eggs in one basket. And so that's a lesson that I've learned. And as a business owner, as a CEO, you have to know your numbers. You have to be able to pull reports from last year and do a comparison of, well, what did we do last year this time of year? What launches did we have that we were offering this time where we were able to generate this? A lot of people don't sit down and look at their business like that. Yeah. I got a client now that I work with. They're actually in the childcare field. Believe that? Like, I'm a business strategist and my client is in the childcare field. And we looked at her reports, and she dropped $400,000 and hadn't looked at her numbers. So yeah, it was an eye-opening experience. And so, all right, my job is to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Because you are a strategist, so let's help someone who may actually want to reach out to you. You being a strategist is not just in the area of being doing webinars. You help them.
No. So here's my toot my own horn. So I actually have a master's degree in finance. Okay. You may see the MBA behind my name on some of these platforms. It is not for it's not for no reason at all. I did my time. And the reason why I did that, watch this, the company that I'm on leave of absence, they actually filed bankruptcy. And I said, I never wanted to be in that position where I could not foresee a company going under. So I am a math person. I am an analytical person. I can look at the business from a 30,000 foot view, which is why my skill set is not only webinar, but I'm a strategist. I'm a virtual COO. Those are one of the skill sets that I get by referral only. And so here's the other thing too. As a CEO, I have been in a position where I can own my skill sets. People know me as the webinar queen, but that's just one entity of the skill sets that I have. And I got to a place where I'm tired of people telling me that you got to stick to one thing. And especially if you're great, and don't get me wrong, because I used to be that person. But let me say this for the viewers and for the listeners. I've given my 10,000 hours in webinars too. Like, don't get me wrong. I have mastered webinars where I've put myself in a position where I can now venture off and be excellent at something else. And that is a thing. I've been in management, retail management, since I was 16. So I did my 10,000 hours there. I can run any kind of business. It doesn't matter what type of business it is. I've done photography. I've done retail. I've done furniture stores. Like, you name it, I've run it. Leadership is leadership. So I've got my 10,000 hours. Webinars, I've got my 10,000 hours. So I'm in a beautiful place where I can own and I can position myself to learn something new and give it some 10,000 hours. But this is where the team come in.
Yeah.
I don't have to be deep down in the webinar business. I can be CEO and have VAs, and I can have coders and developers that are building, writing, and I am just overseeing the process to make sure that the end product meets the quality of our company. Same thing with COO. I can have a project manager that's helping me with these COO projects. I'm just the strategist who's going to look at things and forward think for the company and for the client. And that's the beautiful thing about being a CEO, because you don't necessarily have to be in the trenches. Like right now, my team is working on multiple clients. I've assigned lead VAs to our clients in our outsourcing business to make sure that they are performing, and I don't really have to touch it.
I love it. Y'all listen to CEOs or even soon to be CEOs or people that's even considering being a CEO. Miss Dekesha Williams is putting it down. I want to know, before we get out of here though, if you could encourage a CEO or someone, even somebody that's working in it right now and they're thinking about quitting, just talk to them for a hot minute before we get out of here with this chat.
Well, let me tell you this. This ain't going to be your last time that you want to quit. It's going to happen more than you know. And so here's going to be my story for you, because I get that same feeling every so often. It doesn't happen as much as it used to. But here is what I did the last time it happened. There was a business development position online that I was interviewed for. And this position paid $125,000 a year. So this is a six-figure job, right? So most people are like, yeah, that's good. Like, that could pay all my bills and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. All right? Hang on there with me for a minute. So if that's $125,000 a year, you got to pay taxes on that. So take out your taxes, right? You're going to get health insurance. So take out your health insurance, okay? So they told me take out about 35% of that $125,000. So I want you to write this down, because this is very, very, very important. So we're going to say 125 divided by 12. That's about 10,416 minus 35%. That's $3,600. Now you're down to $6,770. And this is working a job where you might have to get up, leave your house, and go out every single day. You might be able to work remote, but you're going to have to clock in at a certain time, and then you got to request off at a certain time. When I looked at that number for that job that I applied for, and then I looked over here at Stripe, and I looked at what I did the last year, which was, that was a year I worked part-time in my business because I was taking care of mom. So I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. But even in my business, working part-time, where I was able to be at the house, take care of my mom, take her to doctor's appointment, do all of my coachings on a Tuesday, I still made more than a $125,000 job. I said, so Dekesha, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're wasting time looking for jobs and doing interviews when you can be launching this next course. You can be enrolling clients into your COO or your outsourcing program. That's what your focus needs to be. So I'm going to tell you to be intentional about the goals that you set for yourself in your business. Put together a strategy, get out there and be consistent. The only thing that sets you apart from your competition is that they're marketing better than you are. That's all I got. That's it. That's all.
Boom, 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 boom. I hope y'all enjoyed this conversation with Miss Dekesha Williams. Y'all know we're gonna have to have her come back because we need to know those tips, those strategies, some of the things that help us operate even better. And even if you're considering it, because some of them same lessons, like she said, if you're a leader, you're a leader. First, you got to even lead yourself. How about that? You got to lead yourself, and then it even starts what comes from the heart, and it then reaches abroad, which is it starts in your household. So some of those tips, tools, and strategies can't even help us be better, right? Starting at home, because we have to be able to be a CEO at home. Now, I'm not saying take charge over your spouse, right? But there are certain things in leadership where we can still use those skills to help us be better. I appreciate you, Miss Dekesha, for pausing.
Absolutely.
We know she got the team still working, so the business is still running for you to come over into the C-suite to have a chat with little old me. I appreciate you. And again, I thank you for everything that you have done for me to help me be a better CEO throughout my entrepreneurial journey. So thank you, Miss Dekesha. Don't you go nowhere. Look, let me get them out of here.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, guys, I want to thank you for joining me for this episode of C-Suite, a CEO Chat. You already know I'm your girl, Shawanna Kennedy. Be sure to join me on my community. I'm Shawanna Kennedy TV on YouTube, and all things I am Shawanna K. And Miss Dekesha Williams, you're going to make sure you have all her contact information so you can learn more about her. You already know what she said. If you're just trying to figure out and see who she is the webinar queen, all things that, but she is Dekesha Williams on all social media platforms. You want to check her out. But I do appreciate you guys for joining me for this episode of C-Suite, a CEO Chat. Bye for now. This episode is brought to you by Kennedy Media, your ultimate partner in content creation, video recording, and digital marketing. Be seen, be heard, and increase visibility in your business. Contact us today at KennedyMediaLLC.com, KennedyMediaLLC.com, and unlock your brand's full potential.